Hi peeps, no makeup. The hair. Look how long it's getting, guys. When it was up to here, I loved that, but it was too hard to maintain. Everybody's like, long hair is hard to maintain. No, vice versa, because getting down there to get your hair done every 2 weeks, honest to God, my hair's that fast growing now. So, totally gonna like look non-matching in a Cyndi Lauper punky kind of way for this one. Why don't you ever wear makeup for your videos? I have a migraine and I was up until 4 in the morning working on this thing that I'm going to talk about. Tell you what, I will try to remember to put on makeup for my next one song concert, which if you don't know about those are on one of my other channels. I guess I'll link it below, but they're not very good. They're just me going, look, I can bang on an instrument and sing badly. Anyway, this is more an update of what's going on in the Wonks Print store and a little bit of things that I have been doing. I wanted to discuss some stuff craft-wise that I have already discussed on my blog. I hate it when my clothes roll, don't you? And so this might be a repeat for the rare unicorn that actually reads my handwritten stuff. But I have everything lined out in front of me, so I'll just go sequentially, and I might even reveal one of my secrets. So we'll go art crafting secrets. Okay, so yes, it's one of my dirty secrets. I'm actually I can't think of that. Speculate as you will. So many moons ago, at least 10 years ago, I used to, when I would sell my artwork in prints at conventions, I would do what's called a Giclée print. I'm pronouncing it wrong, by the way. It's G-I-C-L-E with a mark over it, E. I've looked at the pronunciation, which is French. It's like Giclée or something. I've never heard the word, so it's Giclée, because that's how I was saying it, and kind of like Lapel Pen, it's Giclée. And, you know, I may or may not correct my pronunciation later. I might stick with Giclée because it's funny. But the Giclée print, and the word Giclée, the properly pronounced word Giclée, it comes from French and basically means to squirt. And it's referring to the process of making a print using things like a inkjet printer, specifically inkjet printer. So I would make these little Giclée prints of my stuff, and I'd sell them. And I had and still have a couple of followers of my stuff. And then I discovered the concept of having posters done of your stuff, and sitting out and having somebody do them. So I started doing that. And with my Giclée prints, I would put them in mats, and they'd be all nice and pretty presentated. And with the posters, I didn't do that. And I actually had a couple of my followers go, but I like the other way, and I didn't listen. I really should, you know, I've learned to listen, but I didn't listen because I felt like the posters were more professional and more durable. But lately I've been kind of not wanting to do posters anymore. I actually I don't even like doing them, to be honest. You know, you're stuck to certain sizes, and it's just no. So, and then some of my artwork is more digital than traditional these days, and so I went back and started doing Giclée prints. The first official print was a Giclée print, and then I realized, you know what, I really just miss doing the Giclée print method. So I'm probably gonna, I might once in a while still do the poster run, but I highly doubt it. I'm just gonna go back to Giclée prints. So I wanted to show you some of the most recent Giclée prints so you can see what I'm talking about. And I'll talk about a little bit on how they're made. And I'm going to save that Giclée print for last. While returning to this, I have been busy. Like the past few days, I have been busy. Digging up art, going through my folders, finding art that's not even seen the light of day because I didn't like it as a poster, realizing it looks great as a Giclée print. Giclée, 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 Giclée. And I've also been like, because another method I used to do is I used to get them run as photos through places like CVS or a Photoshop. And so I've been finding, oh, well, there's this art I retired, but I still have some prints of it in photo form. So I've been framing them and getting them up to go into the conventions. This is one of my most popular. It's called The Visit. And I keep saying I'm going to retire this image, and I probably will because it's so old. This is one of the items that was on display at In Conjunction, actually. And then there's art that has never seen the light. Well, this one saw the light of day briefly with the portrait adoption program, which is how I got started doing artwork on a more major scale. It was through those guys, through her. And you would make these portraits and people would buy them to be their avatars, and they would have the sole rights to this art, and this one never sold. So its name is Steamy, and this is one of my most recent Giclée prints. And I've got it on backing board that I cut myself. The paper I also cut myself. Other people don't do that. They don't go through a whole lot of trouble. But this one's supposed to be like, you know, for people who like, because I've met collectors who like to collect them and put them in boxes. They don't display them. They keep them in like books and stuff. And so this is more of a collector's if you want to put away. But I've got it in an acid-free bag. Instead of using the seal on the bag, I've got it together with washi tape so it's easy to open and close. I've got a little label at the bottom. This one I only just made recently. I really am not liking that you can't see the colors. Let's see if I can fix this. I don't think I would have. I've got a boo. Did that help, guys? I can't tell. How about that? Well, whatever. Anyway, yeah. And this one's name is Steamy. Whatever. You're just gonna have to find my online gallery to see the colors, I guess. And this is another one I made in the past couple of years that hardly. I mean, I think I put this one on DeviantArt briefly, and it's called Bubble Dreams. And this is another Giclée I did. What I'm thinking of doing, and I'm trying different things on Etsy right now to see what people want. It's nice to have input. You know, what do you want? You know. Here's as the smaller sizes, like I was thinking of making trading card sized Giclées, like this, but show you my antique center picture. This size or smaller, so half that. I'm thinking of, and then making the Giclée print borderless, and larger up. I've decided to do where there's a white border, which one of my followers had told me they preferred that so that it's easy to frame. So I'm thinking about doing that, and you know, I'm still hashing out that process. So I've got all these Etsy listings up right now, and it's got all the different options, and I'm paring things down and going through the listings frequently. I mean, this was a series I had started with, a series I had called Calendar Fur, because yes, I do furry art. Frequently, I get approached at conventions. Frequently, come to our FurCon. I would love to come to your FurCon, guys. I would love to don my fox ears and not change my name because I just consider myself a fox all the time. I would love that. I don't have the money for that, guys. Sorry. I want to, but whenever I go out and do stuff, it's rare for many reasons, and one of which is finances. But anyway, and intelligence. I didn't want to wear myself out, so if I had the money, I would still be careful. But this was #1 for a series called Calendar Fur. I started, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. I never finished the series. I have thought about revisiting it. Some of the art I'm going to want to redo, but this is another Giclée print that I did. The thing is with my art, you know, people want the mainstream companies want you to be cookie cutter 4x6 and 5x7, and I don't always do 4x6 and 5x7. So that's another reason why I like the Giclée prints, because then I can cut and crop, and I do a lot. This is another calendar fur. According to my own devices, when I provide mats to go with them, that makes it easier for my followers, but I don't always get mats. I will be probably learning how to cut my own mats eventually. This is actually 3D. I was playing with using the 3D programs to do screen toning. But you can see I've got it nice and done. And I'm going to put Steamy down now. And then this one has been under wraps for a couple of years. It's a landscape. I don't normally do stuff like that. It was actually requested by someone who wanted it for her, I think it was going to be a book cover, and then she decided, because she wanted me to do things that, because I used 3D as the base, she didn't understand, like, at all, which that's my fault for expecting her to just be able to dive in, you know, and finally said, I don't want your art after all those weeks of work for nothing. And so then I offered it to this a friend who was talking about putting together a CD. I'm like, you want to use this art? He's like, sure. Years later, he still hasn't managed to do his CD because life is life. So I'm like, you know what, screw it. So as of yesterday, Forest Moon has been revealed to the public. Now, Forest Moon is getting shown to you because, one, I'm really proud of this piece. This took me a long time. And yes, sure, it's 3D, but it took me a long time to make this. Now, why I'm showing you this is because this is how I'm going to do the larger prints. And I don't really have it taped very securely together, so I can show you. But I'm going to see the white border so that it's easy to frame. So even though this piece is not exactly 5x7, it fits a 5x7 slot very well. Isn't that great? This was printed using my pigment printer, using archival inks. Apparently the printer, the company puts on, the inks that go with this printer are considered archival. There's no other pigments that, you know, no other brands. So I use the official, because when you're making a Giclée print, you want to consider museum quality, longevity, well, it looking good quality. And what I learned is, because I was using my printer, which is it's an MG 7720, and it's supposed to be like really high end, but I never could get anything to print high end. So I was fooling around with it, and I started experimenting with the papers. And I realized that the reason why I wasn't getting anything is because this is like really, really good quality. I mean, this looks like something you'd buy in a store, honest to God. My camera, I mean, you know, get a better camera and it still doesn't help, you know what I'm saying? Let's see if we can get up close. So the step, one important thing with Giclée prints is that you want to have really good materials. This is printed on a sample material I had gotten from Red River paper. That's for this. I'm kind of still experimenting with the papers. I have learned that when it comes to the kind of paper you want to use, if you want to, acid-free doesn't necessarily mean it's going to last a long time. You kind of want to go for papers that are made out of what's called cotton rag. Basically, they're 100% cotton. And those are reputed to last a really long time. Neither you nor I have lived 500 years with one of our pieces to know if this is true. All we can do is wait and see, right? But this is done on one of their papers, and I noticed a huge difference. Before, when I would print, things would kind of blur, sometimes look grainy, and I thought, well, that printer is supposed to have like this really high resolution, and it doesn't print it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It was the materials. So I want to print on canvas. Now, you can get canvas paper, but I've discovered that there is, for me, a more higher quality way, and I'm going to reveal it to you. And by the way, it requires cutting. It requires elbow grease. It requires stuff that I noticed some people who are doing Giclée prints don't do. I actually take a lot of extra steps when it comes to my art for the sheer love of doing it. I'm weird. So there is a canvas paper, and I've got this in my hands, but this is not necessarily what I want to use, because what I am aiming to get is canvas, real canvas that's thin and pliable, of cotton rag. But this is what I started with to figure it out. This is what I started with to learn. And this is like real canvas on a pad. The thing about the real canvas on a pad is that it is pliable. and can bend easy and stuff. The Canon that I have is only like a front loader. It's not really meant for like heavy papers like this other printer I've got out in the garage that needs a new, I forget what part it needs, but I'm getting that part and putting it back online because it does 13 by 19s and I miss it. It was a good printer. Now that I've learned more, I realize better than I thought it was. When you printed this without preparing it, because when it comes to mediums that are not for inkjet, they don't take the pigment or the ink very well. They don't. There's a special coating that they put on stuff for inkjets that makes them so they can accept the colors. And this is one of them. This is meant for painting with acrylics and watercolors onto the canvas. This is a real canvas. So I took this, and there is a product called Ink Aid. I've had this in my closet for years, played with it. I had gotten it when I was trying to figure out how to make clear shrinking inks back when I was really, really into shrinking inks, which I still do love shrinking inks, but this is more for paper. So I prepared some sheets with the Ink Aid, and I don't have a sample of how bad things look without it. Let me see if I've got something over here. My stack of garbage is laughing at me. Here is canvas printed through my printer without Ink Aid. Do you see how washed out that is compared to on actual paper? Do you see you can at least see the color difference. I know you can't see the pixels, but I mean, even with my bad lighting and my bad setup, you can see the difference. So with preparing with Ink Aid, I was able to get there's a series of art I had started for bookmarks, actually, and I didn't really reveal them very long, called Sexy Space Cats in Space. I'm a fan of the Shanner series by C.J. Cherry. What do you want from me? And I was like, I want to do Sexy Space Cats in Space. So because Akashic and the world Akashic has space cats, I started playing with the concept of space cats. And after preparing and printing on the printer with the prepared canvas, I got a very crisp, clear, and badly videoed sexy space cat in space. This photo, it honest to God looks like I could have went down to Walmart and bought it. I am so impressed. So if I can get my hands on some cotton rag canvas, that's what I'll be offering primarily. The other and the papers, but I just really want to shut off my phone now. Yes, Ink Aid, guys. If you are into making Giclée prints and you don't mind the elbow grease and want to put a little extra artistic oomph and care into your stuff, this stuff is amazing. It's a little pricey. I priced it last night and $36 and some change, not counting shipping, through Amazon. I bought this directly from the company. So I would probably buy from them again because they've proven themselves to be trustworthy, but I've still got some because I haven't used it that much. Maybe I'll get lucky and my prints will go back to selling to the point that I can consider going to a FurCon. Anyway, one other thing, and then I'm going to stop talking because I'm at 19, 56, 57, 58. In the music store, the Filking music store, I just wanted to show off a couple of acquisitions. At the last convention I went to in conjunction, which by the way was amazing. I mean, no, they didn't have any drinking parties this year. I don't understand what happened. I have a feeling COVID affected some of it. We'll see what happens next year. But I still had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. And Tom Smith, the fastest filker alive, was there. And we managed to convince him to sell us his table stock so that we could carry him into our online filk music store. So here's two of the CDs. Yes, my husband convinced him to sign. He's like signing this big stack of CDs. I felt so bad. But we have a lot of autographed materials now from him. And I also wanted to show off something that I have been so excited over because they're just the name of the band. The Gothsicles. They sing about gaming. I love them. They're kind of an industrial sound, you know, a lot of screaming. But I don't know. I like it. So I would show off these guys. I think these guys are going to be at Fump Fest, if I remember correctly. The Gothsicles are. It'd be cool if Tom Smith were also at Fump Fest. It would be cool if I could go to Fump Fest. If you don't know what Fump Fest is, I'll write its name down. It's this novelty music convention happening up in Chicago. And it's Dr. Demento. Dr. Demento's going to be there. It's like his anniversary. Gothsicles. Isn't that awesome? I mean, they have like 4 fat guys. This is what the Bruja clan will do to all you gangrels. I just love it. Sunshine, Loctoire Dadalora, and Mermaids versus Manticores. That one needs a music video. Anyway, I just had to show them off. I'm just like, oh my god, the Gothsicles. Okay, one last Giclée, and then I'm gonna sign off. This one was called Forest Palace. It has been revealed. I do have some posters of it, but I really do like it better as a Giclée. This one didn't center though, but that's okay because I can compensate. It's called a mat. Mats are amazing. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye. If I can find the stop button. It's here, Summers.